It all began when a teenager girl tapped on the window of Mr. Weaver's car on a rainy night asking for a ride. At first, he refused, thinking it wouldn't be a good idea, especially at night. But he couldn't resist playing a Samaritan when she told him that she knew Scott, his son, who died 2 months ago. Her name was Claire Sanders. Today, I have Linwood Barclay's A Tap on the Window for you. Before I proceed, if you don't know who I am Shalet Jimmy. I'm from India. I love books and I talk about them here. I am an avid crime fiction reader and hence they predominantly constitute my read and to be read list. But I assure you, I have other genres too. Welcome to Shalet Jimmy's Storyworld. P.D. James, one of the acclaimed crime writers of our time, believed that mysteries were made of clues and not coincidences. But when it comes to Linwood Barclay's A Tap on the Window, I felt it's just the other way around and is full of coincidences. By the way, you would often find me quoting P.D. James and Mary Higgins Clark because they are my favorites. Coming back to our story, Mr. Carl Weaver and his wife Donna were yet to come to terms with their son's death. It looked like suicide. And every piece of evidence spoke the same, as Scott was under the influence of a drug named ecstasy. But still, Weaver and his wife could not bring themselves to believe that he would just jump off from a building to end his life. The thoughts were killing them, and they needed answers. Besides, their marriage was crumbling because of their son's death. And that apart, Mr. Carl Weaver was a private detective and he couldn't resist himself from investigating into his son's death. Thinking that the girl, Claire Sanders, his son's friend, would help him get some leads that would direct him to his son's death, he admitted the girl into the car. But on the way, she said she wanted to stop at a restaurant called Iggy's because she was feeling sick and wanted to use the washroom. But even after 15 minutes, when she didn't turn up, he decided to check on her. But even after looking everywhere, he couldn't find her. But he did not panic, thinking that she might have gone through some other entrance. But when he returned to his car, he saw the girl sitting in the front seat of his vehicle. Now that perplexed him. But it took a few seconds for Carl to realize that the girl who was sitting inside his car was not Claire Sanders but somebody else who dressed like her. Now, why would someone do that? When he barraged her with questions, she demanded to get out of the car, and Carl had to drop her in the middle of the road. But very soon, he, along with her boyfriend, found her dead body under the bridge where Carl dropped her. So when Claire went missing, her friend ended up dying. Carl was quick to realize that if the second girl was killed, the life of Claire Sanders was in danger too. He inquired and found that the girl was missing. Since he was dragged into it, he felt that he should go in search of her. He was also sure that the girls were followed by somebody, and it is to hoodwink the stalker they played the game. At the same time, there were so many things happening in the Griffin City, which was on the borders of Canada, where the story was taking place. The police chief and the mayor of the city were at loggerheads. Claire Sanders was a daughter of Mayor Bert Sanders. The police chief, Augustus Perry, was the brother-in-law of Carl Weaver. Now let's ask those important questions. Did Scott commit suicide, or was he murdered? If yes, who killed Scott? Why was the second girl murdered? Where was Claire Sanders? Was she alive or dead? All these questions make Linwood Barclay's A Tap on the Window a gripping thriller. Also, there is a story where a man was kept prisoner by a woman in a basement room which seems like a digression from the main plot, but you have to read to know what it entails. I have given you a short review about this book, but now I would like to take this opportunity to share with you some of the experiences I had while reading this book, because it taught me a lot of things. A Tap on the Window was published in 2030, but it was his other book, No Time to Say Goodbye, that I read first, and it just blew me away. And I was expecting something of that sort while I started reading this book. Now, that is a mistake, a big one a reader shouldn't make. I realized that the book by a same author would be different and unique, and they should be viewed as such. The expectations from a work by an author while reading his other work would kill the joy of reading. Now, that's what has happened to me. I was so carried away by the book No Time to Say Goodbye that I started expecting suspense at every turn of events in the book, and it dampened my spirit of reading when I couldn't come across one. I was so disheartened that I would often go to Goodreads and check the reviews of the book. And my friends over there assured me with their reviews that it's a good book, and they were right. I could witness the elements of suspense when I read the book till the end. So, what I have to tell you is, despite all your meddling with your reading, if you feel that you had a wonderful time with a book, then it is a wonderful book. Now that's what has happened to me with this book. Barclay has also effectively portrayed the emotional turmoil Weaver and his wife were going through because of their son's death. Wait, I want to tell you one more thing. At the outset, I was not convinced of the motive that made the culprit take a few drastic steps. But then I had to change my mind because I realized human nature is beyond comprehension. Just like what I did with myself while I was reading this wonderful book. Can I compare both? You decide. Anyway, I love the book. I would recommend Linwood Barclay's A Tap on the Window if you like crime fiction, or if you're one who would like to start reading crime fiction. So, if you like my review, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. God bless.